What up, Chicken Nuggets? Tyler here with the Sports Cards Are Dope podcast, and I'm going to give you 15 tips for the National, even though I can't go this year. R.I.P. my boy. Pour one out. Pour out the dollar bins for your boy. I had a ticket, 5-day early pass ticket, and my boss was like, nah, we need you to MC this student conference. So I was like, all right, well, that was only 2 days I was going to get to go because I was working with the school. So who cares? Don't cry for me, Argentina. All right? Don't cry for me. I get the chance to go to cool shows. I got to go to Fanatics Fest. So I wish I could go to the National. Love hanging out, but can't do it. But I still want to give you 15 tips. I know it's happening fast. And these could go for a lot of card shows. So I think these are tips that are universal. But I've got 8 basic ones that you're probably going to hear on everybody's list. And then I got 7 that I kind of curated some from my own and from my own experiences that I just have learned. And this is things I do. And it might not work for you, but here we go. So let's start out with the basic 8, if you will. So the first thing is very important, especially if you don't walk home with a bigger debt than the United States of America. You need to set a clear budget. Number 1, set a clear budget, okay? Go in knowing what you want to spend. The easiest way to set a clear budget, walk in with cash, which is actually my second piece of advice. People love cash. Now, I'll be honest, most dealers, I'd say 95% of dealers, they don't care. They'll do Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, as long as you don't do like the one where you can take it back later. They usually don't like that one. But any of them that doesn't charge fees, most of them are okay with it. I'd say literally 9 out of 10. Honestly, earlier, 95% is 19 out of 20, so I'll stick with that. 19 out of 20 dealers are cool with paying through apps. Cash is always better, and sometimes they'll give you a better deal. But that number 2 rounds with number 1, the budget, because if you have cash, you always know how much you got left. I can't tell you how many times I'll toss in, I'm like, oh, I'm walking to this show with 500 or 700 or 1,000 or whatever it is. And I think last National I had like $3,000. I was like, I got $3,000 in here, and I had it in. I had the No City bag, and I love that bag. It's great. It's in the front. I got it. I like rest my arms on it. Absolutely love No City. And I've got it at the bottom. And so it helps me keep track because that's all the money I got left. Now, granted, there are random deals I'll do with like apps or whatever, but everybody takes cash, almost everybody. So number 1, set a clear budget. Either writing it down, have a notes thing on your phone, or bring cash. And when you run out of cash, you're done. Okay, so set a clear budget, and that's just important so you don't overspend. Set a clear budget, bring cash, and also make sure your apps work. Okay, so number 3, have a want list. This is really important, and it's something I did at the last National. It was really helpful for me. I was working on 2 big chases. I wanted to get all the 1996 EX credentials, and I was trying to get all my top 75 NBA players. And I think at the time I had like 10 or 15 on-card autos I needed for the autos, and I was still missing probably like, I'd guess about 10 to 20 credentials. I knew those were my 2 big things. It changed my whole mindset because if not, I'm very apt because I love cards and I love stuff that looks cool. I love certain players. When I walk in, I see stuff I like, and then next thing I know, I'm buying Isaiah Stewart True Gold rookies for $250. I'm like, what am I doing? So have a clear want list. And if you've got any bigger cards on there, what I recommend, you are going to make probably ancillary buys. Things that are like, oh, I didn't plan on buying that, or I saw 2 of these, or I have one of these, but I want to upgrade it. You're going to make buys outside of that, even if you plan your budget to a T. So if you can go in and find your bigger cards first and get those out of the way, that helps. Like one of the ones I needed a Shaq Diesel 1996 credentials. I found one literally the first day. I think I paid like $800 for it. That was one of my biggest I think it was my biggest purchase at the National, and I got it out the first day. That took a big chunk of what I had brought there. Granted, I made some money because I sold some of the cards, so that's how I made some back and got over the $3,000. But I got that big card out of the way, and that way now I wasn't worried about like snowballing, because you guys know we were walking around that place. It's easy to see cool stuff and stuff you wouldn't have thought you'd ever bought. You walk in, you're like, yeah, my heart of hearts says I need this, and you spend the money. So go get the big ones first, okay? So having that want list is important, okay? Clear budget, bring cash, have your apps ready, so money ready, and then have a want list. Number 4, prioritize day 1 browsing. It is very important that on your day 1, you don't get distracted. I love dollar bins. I think they're amazing. I love looking through them. I've actually gotten to where I really like the $5 to $20 cards because I feel like they have a lot more room, and people are okay because like with giving you a better deal because they almost like it's like a value bin in their head, but you're getting a little better card. Plus, you can grade your way out of some of those if you end up making a bad deal because your boy makes mistakes of buying off vibes, not always comps. But I think that day one, you're looking for your bigger cards, and I would not recommend the first day sitting and looking through value bins. Unless you just find one that you're like, this is my table, and you start going. Try not to, because it's easy to look up and it's been an hour and a half and you've been looking through a box or two. And so I do it. I love it, but I would honestly wait till later to do that. So prioritize your day one, scope the place out, hit the places you know you want, go to the dealers you know you like to do deals with, and try to see if they got anything. Next one, pack some snacks. Everybody says this one. It's true. Get snacks. I usually go to like Harps or Walmart beforehand. I have a backpack I carry. I'll throw like a couple big bottles of water, and I'll throw in a bunch of like, Cliff Bars, or I like those iced oatmeal raisin Z-Bars. They're amazing. And I'll just put a whole box of them in my bag. And I'll eat those through the day. I'm not trying to find seats for food because I'm not waiting in line, wasting my time. I'm there to look at cards, so I just pop one of those in, and it gets me through. And honestly, when you're looking at cards, it feels the hunger in your soul. All right? Next tip, comfortable shoes, deodorant. Just do that for everybody. That's for the other people. The deodorants, shoes are for you. Deodorant's for everyone else. Please don't be that guy. We all get hot. I honestly throw a stick of deodorant in my bag. Oh my gosh, I did this at Fanatics Fest. So Mac's amazing. If you ever check out, Mac, I think it's Mac_car collector. I need to look it up. Love Mac, one of my favorite creators. I saw him at Fanatics Fest. My family left the morning on the last day of Fanatics Fest, and then I went, and I'm like looking around, whatever. I didn't even realize it. At the end of the day, I met up with Mac. We rode to the airport, and we were about to go into the Sky Lounge. And I like moved my arm, and I go, oh my gosh. I smelled it. It was me. It was me. You know why? Because my kids stole my deodorant. Usually in the bathroom, you have like routines of things like I take you this medicine. I do this. I do this. They take my deodorant. I didn't even notice. And then I noticed. I was like, dang. So I scrubbed that thing down, and I had some deodorant in my bag. I went and bought some deodorant and fixed it up. So don't worry about me. I'm good. Mac, I apologize. So shoes and deodorant, I'm rolling that into one. All right. Number 7. Bring a backpack or card case or no city design. Bring something to carry them in. You do not want to be walking around with them in your hands. That is the best recipe for leaving them at a table. And nobody wants to be bouncing around the table. Do you have my cards? Do you have my cards? Do you have my cards? Do not rely on your hands to hold them. Maybe if you got some pockets, sometimes I'll roll in with some cargos. You know what I mean? You're talking about Abercrombie & Fitch, cargo shorts. You remember those back in the day? Oh my gosh. Put a couple of Doc Martin sandals on me and call me dope in 8th grade-ish. All right? Now, cargo shorts are fine as long as they got a button. You can keep it safe. But I like a backpack. That way it's always with me. I hold it. And then you can always, if you get sore, you just flip it around to the front. You can rest your arms on it. So I'm a backpack guy. I like that. And the last of the basics, the one you'll hear from everybody is, actually, I don't know if you'll hear a lot. This might be like a midway. A trick that I do is at night when you're kind of decompressing after everything, I roll on Instagram and I like to scroll through and I look at stories of different card people, and I'll even search the national hashtag, and I'll search all their little hashtags. They're like the national, NCSS 25 or whatever. Hit that hashtag and scroll through, and you're going to see a bunch of people making deals, people at their table. You're going to see pictures of different people. That's a great way to scout cards fast. It's like walking through all the tables. You just swipe, scroll through, you can see all their stuff, and if you see it and you like it, you click it. You can either DM them, be like, yo, I like that card, do you still got it? Or I saw you just bought that, or you traded for that, I like that. You can hit them up there, or go find their table. I heard the Luddix, love Luddix by the way, they got a, they really updated the app, the Luddix app, with the map of the floor. Okay, so now I got 7. I'm sorry, I'm talking really fast because I'm really excited about you guys going to the National. Again, I don't get to. RIP. So I'm going to slow down. Last 7 tips, okay? And these are ones you might not hear everywhere. And this first one, this is a tip I actually use a lot with like garage sales, because we all try to hit up yard sales, garage sales, and you're like hoping they have cards. This is how I get most of the cards I get at garage sales. It doesn't happen everywhere, but 1 out of every 10. But it's more than normal because they're never out there. Ask for what you want at the tables. Number 1, these dealers know their table better than you do. So if you're asking for something, you're looking for something, 1, it keeps you focused on the things you're actually like looking for. And 2, they can get to it quicker. And here's what you find. This is what I use for the yard sale stuff. If you ask it, a lot of times it might not be out there. So there was one table, I was looking for the credentials, and I walked up and was like, you got any 1996 EX credentials? He didn't have any out there. I already knew. I already looked at it. But I asked him anyways. And he goes, oh, I think I might have one back here. These dealers have a limited amount of space. A lot of times they bring more cards, or they just bought a lot, or they just traded for some stuff and they haven't priced it, or maybe they just don't have room for it. It's sitting behind them. He grabbed it out of the box. He found it. He goes, I go, how much? He goes, 50. I go, I'll take it. Because I knew the market, and I knew you can't get an EX credentials for under 60, especially big country, if you will. Grizz legend, kind of. Never hear really people talking about him. He does have a jersey for sale in the Grizzly store, so that's cool. But I do that at yard sales. I'll ask him every time. Walk up, hey, do you got any old sports cards or Pokemon cards? One time's out of about 10% of the time, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I got some in the house. And they walk in and get some. They would never got it if I just walked around, said thank you, and left. They don't know I'm a card guy. They don't know that. They don't watch the pod like you do, because you're great. All right. So ask for what you want. It'll narrow it down, get it faster, and a lot of times it's sitting behind the desk, if you will. Next one. And this is one you won't hear a lot of people talk about, but I did it and it was fantastic because it kept me from leaving my stuff at tables. When you walk up to a table and you've got your card case, or you've got a bag, or you've got, maybe even a rolling case, it's very easy to get distracted. Your mind gets into looking at cards, especially if you're looking at like big boxes or you're having a conversation. Like, it takes your mind off of the thing you were carrying 20 minutes before that and walking up to the table. I can't tell you how many times these shows people leave these things around. Now, hopefully they get back to their owner, but sometimes there are people that steal stuff, okay? What I recommend is get something that you can attach to your wrist or your belt loop and attach it to your case, okay? A good one could be you could go to like Walmart or Petco and buy a dog leash, because they'll zip and they like have that stretch. I had like it was a luggage tag, but it was the one where it like zips out and stuff. So I clipped it on my belt loop, hooked the other one around my rolly bag. I didn't leave it because as soon as you start walking, it pulls you. You're like, oh yeah. I would rather get a little pull from my belt or on my wrist than leave my cards at a table and walk off. So find a way to attach whatever it is. And you could, if you wanted to look really crazy, you could get like handcuffs and a briefcase. You look like walking in there with $1 million cash. People definitely going to target you if you do that. But it would still be pretty efficient because you wouldn't leave it, okay? So string or something, a rope, dog leash you cut off is attached to your card box so you don't leave it, okay? Next one, set daily themes. Set daily themes. This is something I started doing. So like first day, I was mainly hitting big stuff. I want to get a bigger credentials card or a bigger autograph card. I know I'm going to take, 1 or 2K out of my stuff, and the rest will be play money to like buy like little rando stuff or maybe stuff to sell. I knew I wanted to hit that stuff, so I'm moving kind of fast, bouncing in. Those cards are not going to be in a box because they're $1 to $2 grand. They're going to be out in a showcase. All right. And I'm also going to ask. Remember, we just said that. And so what I would do is on day 2, after I've done that, then I'm just like, my goal day 2, my second full day there, I wanted to see every table in the showroom. I literally started in the largest room they had, and you remember that old game Snake on Nokia phones? And I literally went up and down every single aisle. I looked at it took, if you need time-wise, the biggest room there, it will take you a 1 full day to go through the entire thing. 1 full day to go through the entire thing. That's what it took me. It took me 1 full day from start to close, and I covered the entire main show floor and saw every single table. And it is a cool experience because if not, I would have missed those cards. I would have bounced around. I wouldn't have talked to this one dude. I wouldn't have stopped and asked, and I wouldn't have started some really cool conversations. So love that idea of hitting every table because then you don't have the FOMO, like the fear of missing a table. FOMOT, fear of missing out on tables. FOMOT. It works. Something's there. Okay. Next, you have what is called a grind kit. This is actually probably something that more people, I probably should put this in the other category, but I have a plethora of portable chargers. Okay, you don't want to be sitting on the wall waiting on your phone to charge. Portable chargers, cords, that way you can put the charger in your pocket, still have your phone. Team bags, sticky notes, markers, Sharpies, card savers, whatever those little ancillary things are. It's good to have like a little like 1-packer of it. I'm not saying you should bring a full thing of top loaders, a full thing of cards. You can buy those there. There's always supply guys that are set up that you can buy and spend a few bucks and put stuff in a case. Again, most of the cards you're buying are in a case. But, say you buy like a chunk of, stuff in penny sleeves, you don't want to get them banged up. You can go buy like a little case for that. They usually take up more room, so I always actually trim that down. But chargers, I do not trim on. I always have chargers because phones are good to have, especially whenever you're trying to see if you're overpaying for a card. Okay? Next one. Trade night. 3 more. Trade night is buckets. Trade nights are underrated. You know why? Because when you're walking around that show floor, we've all been walking around, and you know that when you're trying to sell a dealer a card, it's worth about 70-ish% of comps. But if they're sitting behind the table, it's worth 90 to 100% of comps. They have the sit-down table fee. Oh, but they got to pay for their table. Yes, they do. But when they make the profit back on their table, they don't stop cutting, keeping that percent. And again, that's totally fine. I've set up at shows. It is a great benefit of sitting down. But you know what the cool thing about trade night is? Ain't nobody got a table. Everybody's equal. You're equal. You're equal. All men are created equal. I don't know what that's from. Actually, is it the Constitution or the Bible? It's from something important, right? Whenever you are out there and you're at trade night, you can pick up some really dope stuff. I was trying to work on those on-card autos. I could not find a James Harden. I couldn't find any on-card autos of James Harden, and I couldn't find any Reggie Millers that were less than like $300. And Reggie's fine, but I don't want to spend $300. I want to spend around $100 on his auto. Trade night, I knocked out both of those in like 30 minutes. I had no idea anybody was going to have it. You were going to see the most crazy you're not going to expect. Yeah, you're going to see, you're like, oh, my base Wimby Prism PSA 10. You're going to see some basics. But then you're going to see some really cool stuff that people have sitting out in front of them. Ask those people, do you got any of this? Do you got any of this? And also, if you see some stuff that here's the trick too on trade night too. If you have some cards you're wanting to sell or trade, that's the night to do it because again, you are equal to them. They don't have to sit down behind the table tax, if you will. So whenever you're sitting there, if you have, say you like, I don't collect a lot of football. I got a Tom Brady rookie in here. I want to sell it. You're walking around and you see a dude who is selling a bunch of football and Tom Brady's. That's the guy to ask, hey, you've got that exact card. Do you want another one? You know what I mean? Like people like to deal in the cards. They'll sell them. You're like, he doesn't want it because he's trying to sell it. No, they'll sell cards that are in their wheelhouse, and they also buy and trade for cards in their wheelhouse. So that's a little trick. And I also, this is a little side trick. I don't know if this counts as a tip, but if I see a guy that has like a bunch of football or a bunch of Pokemon, but then he's got like one or two basketball, it usually means he doesn't do basketball. He just like traded into that. They'll usually give you a pretty good deal on those. So if you see any like cards you like, and that's like an outlier with regards to that person's table, then I would try to get that from them because it usually means they don't care about it as much and they'll probably cut you a deal. That's what I found. It usually works for me. Again, you don't find those people all the time, but when I do, I usually try to take advantage of it. So that was like a little bonus tip. All right, two more. Wear a jersey or shirt of a player that you are wanting to collect. If you do that, I wear Jordan Poole jerseys all the time. Pretty much every time I go to a car show, I'm wearing Jordan Poole jersey. I'm literally at that conference I have to do that I'm not be able to go to the National for. I'm going to be wearing a Jordan Poole jersey at it. You know why? Because your boy knows if he wears it, one, if anybody watches the channel, they see Jordan Poole, they probably know like, oh yeah, it's probably that dude. It's probably that Tyler guy. Or they're Tarver cards, as they say. It's Tarver cards, but it's fine. I don't care. Anything with a T, I'll accept. But also, even if they don't know you, if they see you with that jersey, I've had so many people come up to me and be like, oh, you're a Poole fan? And I'm like, obviously, like I respect GOATs. And they're like, oh, I have a Poole card. They don't know who I am. They don't know I like Jordan Poole, except for they saw my jersey. So if you have a jersey of a player you like, wear it, because then people are going to come up to you sometimes and they're going to try to sell you or get you cards of that person or that team or even that sport sometimes. So it's a good way to get people to come up to you. And the last one, and I've said this tip before on other stuff when it comes to buying, but it is the best one I've found because we've all had buyer's remorse. We've all had seller's remorse on certain cards. When you're about to make a decision and you're on the fence, you don't know if you should buy it or sell it or whatever it is, whatever transaction you're about to have. What I do is I always visualize as if the transaction happened. So if there's a card that I kind of is in my PC, but somebody's offering me a good amount of money for it, in my mind, I visualize that I'm back at home and I do not have that card and I have the money and I'm sitting there and I try to put myself in future Tyler's perspective and think, am I happy that that card is gone and I have this money? Or am I happy that I have this card and I I gave out 1,000. Am I happy to have this in that moment? I'm visualizing myself owning that or having sold that. Then I'm going to go off of that feeling. I'm excited I got this card. Okay, I'll buy it. Or I'm okay with that card being gone. Yeah, let's sell it. Visualize that outcome and see how you feel. Because a lot of times we get caught up in the moment or we get caught up in the pressure of the trade or this or that. Visualize that happening. Visualize what you have at the end of that. And if you're okay with it, it's usually a good sign that you can move forward. So I kind of went through those fast because I just got home and I want to go hang out with my wife. But I hope you guys have a blast at the National. I really wish I could be there. Hopefully. My kids got football this fall, so I don't know if I'm able to go to the next Dallas Car Show. But I'm going to try to start setting up at a few more shows. I'd like to start with Dallas. I like the Dallas Car Show. It's pretty good. And plus, a lot of people come through there, so it'd be cool. But let me know how the National goes in the comments. What are you hunting at the National? And who are you hoping to see? Are there any creators or businesses or people you follow on Instagram or whatever? Maybe they're not a creator per se, but they're a card shop you really like. Let me know who you're trying to interact with and what you're trying to pick up at the National. Thank you guys for listening. Y'all are dope, and so are sports cards. Have a blast. I love you. Never stop collecting. Later.